The slap cracks through the SUV like a gunshot. Keisha's head snaps sideways. Her cheek burns. Outside, rain slams against the bulletproof glass, turning Seoul's neon lights into streaks of blood and color. Cold metal cuts into her wrists. Chrome handcuffs, locked tight to a handle worth more than her entire life back in Atlanta. Sora leans in, calm, polished, untouched by the violence she just delivered. She tosses a photograph at Keisha's face. It hits her face and falls. In the photograph is Keisha's mugshot. Younger. Harder. Fulton County Jail. You really thought you could outsmart us? Sora's voice is quiet and surgical. Keisha Brown, 19, arrested multiple times for theft and fraud. A pause. Then, Dr. Maya Lawrence doesn't exist. She died 3 months ago in Lagos. Car accident put her in a coma, and she never woke up. Her eyes narrow. So tell me, who the hell are you? Blood fills Keisha's mouth. Metallic, bitter. She turns slowly to him. Hongdae, sitting in the corner, silent. The man she saved. The man she loves. The man she lied to. He doesn't look at her. And somehow, that hurts more than the slap. You played us, Sora continues, voice laced with cold satisfaction. The struggling genius, the underdog. You made us believe in you, while you were stealing from us. Sora slides another item across the dashboard. The chairman's ring. Jade center gleaming under the SUV's interior lights. We found this in a safety deposit box. Reported stolen the night of the accident. Keisha's stomach drops. You didn't just steal an identity, Sora continues. You stole a family heirloom worth $2 million. In that alone is 10 years in Korean prison. Keisha swallows. Let me ask you something, Keisha says, her voice steady, too steady. If you pull someone out of a burning car, do you feel guilty for taking their ring? Silence. Then Sora laughs. Sharp. Disbelieving. You're comparing saving a life to identity theft? I'm comparing survival to survival. That's when Hongdae finally looks up. Their eyes meet. No anger, no rage. Just disappointment so deep it feels like drowning. Show her the rest, he says. Sora slides a folder forward. Photos spill out. Keisha and Hongdae, lifting wallets like smoke. Keisha cracking his phone open. Keisha becoming someone else, piece by piece, lie by lie. We've known for months, Sora whispers. Every move you made, we were watching. Keisha's stomach drops, because this isn't exposure. It's execution. And to understand how a street thief from Atlanta ended up handcuffed in a billionaire's SUV in Seoul, I have to take you back. Back to the night everything went wrong. Hey besties. Welcome back to another story, and if you're new here, just know you found one of the best Afro-Korean storytelling channels on YouTube. Kindly show your support by hitting the subscribe button. Also turn on notifications to know when new videos drop every week. Let's continue. 3 months earlier, Seoul night air tasted like rain about to fall. Keisha worked the Hongdae market crowd like a conductor. 23 years old, no degree, no visa, no future, just quick hands and quicker feet. A businessman's watch slid into her pocket. Gone. A tourist's wallet relocated itself to her bag. Small-time theft. Survival-level crime. Nothing that would put her in rooms with people like Hongdae Lee. Then metal screamed. 50 feet away, a black Mercedes punched through Mapo Bridge's guardrail. The car hung suspended between concrete and river, hood crumpled, driver's door jammed against the barrier. Everyone froze. Phones came out. Nobody moved forward. Keisha should have run. That's what smart people do. Keep your head down, don't get involved, survive. But something cracked open in her chest. She ran toward the wreck. Smoke poured from the engine, burning her throat. The driver slumped against a deflated airbag, blood trickling from a gash above his eye. Expensive suit, expensive watch, expensive everything. Sir! She yanked the door. Locked. Sir, can you hear me? His eyes fluttered. Dark. Focused despite the blood. The car shifted. Groaned. Started sliding. She grabbed concrete from the broken guardrail and smashed the passenger window. 3 hits. Glass showered like diamonds. She reached through, unlocked the door, hauled it open. I've got you. She pulled him under the arms. Dead weight. But adrenaline makes you strong. She dragged him onto the bridge just as the Mercedes surrendered to gravity. The splash sounded like thunder. Sirens wailed closer. That's when she saw them. On his right hand, a gold signet ring with jade center. The chairman's ring. She'd seen it in magazines. Lee Pharmaceutical's symbol of power, passed through 3 generations. In his jacket pocket, barely visible, an encrypted phone. His eyes were closed, breathing shallow. He wouldn't know. Her fingers moved before conscience caught up. Ring. Phone. Both pockets. Reparations. She whispered to God, to herself, to whoever was listening. For every time life stole from me first. She melted into the crowd before ambulances arrived. That night, Keisha stared at the ring and phone in her coffin-sized Itaewon apartment like they might bite. The phone took 6 hours to crack. When she finally broke through, she wished she hadn't. Lee Pharmaceutical internal documents, research data, board minutes, and one name appearing everywhere. Dr. Maya Lawrence, London School of Economics, pharmaceutical consultant, expected in Seoul next week. Dr. Maya Lawrence, who, according to her frantic Google search, had been in a car accident in Lagos 4 months ago. Coma, no family, no close friends. And 3 weeks ago, she'd been declared dead after life support was withdrawn. They didn't know. The research data wasn't just information, it was currency. The golden formula, Lee Pharmaceutical's experimental non-addictive opioid, was worth billions on the black market. Pharmaceutical competitors would pay 7 figures just for the molecular structure. Keisha had already made contact. Anonymous encrypted messages to 3 Chinese pharma companies and 1 Russian buyer. The highest bidder would get the formula. She'd get enough money to disappear forever. The plan was simple. Get inside as Maya Lawrence, gain access to the research servers, copy everything, vanish before anyone noticed. In and out. 6 weeks maximum. She looked at her reflection in the phone's black screen. Keisha Brown. No degree. No prospects. Just criminal records. Nothing useful. Then she looked at the possibility. What if Keisha Brown died in that market? What if Dr. Maya Lawrence's death was never reported to Lee Pharmaceutical? 5 days. That's how long it took to become someone else. Keisha accessed Maya's cloud storage using credentials from the stolen phone, downloaded every research paper Maya published, memorized her thesis, learned her mannerisms from conference videos, forged her credentials, bought glasses she didn't need, changed her hair, practiced the British-Nigerian accent until her throat ached. When Keisha walked into Lee Pharmaceutical headquarters the following Monday morning, she wasn't Keisha anymore. She had taken the name and identity of Dr. Maya Lawrence. Her plan was in motion. Keisha was now the ghost of a dead woman, wearing her skin like armor. The lobby stretched toward heaven. Marble floors so polished that she could see her reflection lying to her. The receptionist smiled with teeth too white to be real. Dr. Lawrence, she said warmly, we've been expecting you. Mr. Lee is in the boardroom, 4th floor. The elevator ride felt like ascending to judgment. The boardroom doors opened onto chaos. 10 men in suits argued in rapid Korean around a conference table. At the head sat Hongdae Lee, looking like death with a Windsor knot, bandage above his left eye, bruises blooming purple along his jaw. But his eyes were sharp, alert. Dangerous. Gentlemen. The oldest board member, Director Choi, stood. Perhaps we should table this discussion until Mr. Lee has fully recovered from his accident. Clearly, he's not in a position to make sound decisions. Are you suggesting I'm incompetent? Hongdae's voice was quiet. Lethal. I'm suggesting that a man who nearly died a week ago shouldn't be making billion-dollar decisions about experimental drugs he doesn't fully understand. The room went silent. That's when Hongdae noticed Keisha in the doorway. Dr. Lawrence. He stood, wincing slightly. You're early and well. Punctuality is the foundation of trust, she said, channeling every ounce of Maya's confidence. Shall I wait outside? No. Hongdae gestured to an empty chair. Please, join us. Director Choi was just explaining why my 15 years of experience in this company means nothing compared to his 30 years of collecting a paycheck. She sat, smoothed her skirt, opened her stolen briefcase and pulled out a stolen tablet loaded with Maya's stolen research. If I may, she said carefully, I reviewed the Phase 2 trial data you sent last week. The synthetic opioid compound you're developing. Director Choi waved a dismissive hand. Dr. Lawrence, with all due respect, you've been in this country for less than an hour. Perhaps you should observe before offering opinions. She smiled, the smile Maya would have used. Polite, deadly. With the same due respect, Director Choi, the data you presented to the FDA last quarter contains a critical error in the metabolic pathway analysis. You've listed CYP3A4 as the primary enzyme for hepatic clearance, but your own trial data shows CYP2D6 supersaturation in 73% of participants. That's not an opinion. That's biochemistry. The room froze. Hongdae leaned forward. Continue. If the FDA catches this discrepancy, and they will, your entire Phase 2 approval gets delayed by 18 months minimum. You'll lose patent priority to Hanok Pharmaceutical, who filed a similar compound last year. You won't just lose time, you'll lose everything. Director Choi's face turned the color of spoiled kimchi. Hongdae's expression didn't change, but something flickered in his eyes. Respect? Suspicion? Keisha couldn't tell. I suggest you rerun the analysis before your next presentation, she added. Gentlemen, Hongdae said, I think we found our consultant, Dr. Lawrence. Welcome to Lee Pharmaceutical. You just saved us approximately 3 billion won. And I hope you're comfortable in Seoul because you're not going anywhere. The meeting dissolved. Directors filed out shooting looks ranging from grudging respect to pure hatred. Hongdae remained seated. That was impressive, he said when they were alone. That was necessary. You were about to be eaten alive. He studied her, really looked, like he was trying to see past the glasses, the accent, the expensive suit she had maxed out 3 credit cards to buy. The accident, he said finally. On Mapo Bridge. I don't remember much, but I remember hands pulling me out. Small hands, strong hands. Keisha's pulse spiked. The woman who saved me disappeared before I could thank her, he continued. No cameras caught her face. No witnesses knew her name. I've been looking for her for a week. She kept her expression neutral, sympathetic. Perhaps she didn't want to be found, she suggested. Some people save lives and vanish. Angels don't ask for credit. Or thieves don't leave fingerprints. The air between them crystallized. Then he smiled. Actually smiled. I'm joking, Dr. Lawrence. Forgive me. The painkillers make me paranoid. But she saw it. Calculation behind his eyes. He suspected something. Maybe not everything, but something. She was standing on a razor blade, and one wrong move would cut her. Over the next 6 weeks, Keisha became indispensable. Rewrote FDA submissions with the help of AI. Fixed corrupted research. Identified a corporate spy selling formulas to Chinese competitors. She worked 18-hour days, not because she loved the job, but because she was terrified of being still long enough for someone to look too closely. She needed to pull this con off successfully. Hongdae watched constantly, not suspicious watching, curious watching. Late nights became their routine. The office would empty, security lights would flicker on, and they'd sit in his corner office, surrounded by Seoul's glittering skyline, picking apart problems. "You don't talk about yourself?" he observed one night. Rain streaked the windows. 2 a.m. They'd been debugging clinical trial software for 6 hours. "There's nothing interesting to tell," she said, eyes on her screen. "Everyone has a story. Mine is boring. School, work, more work. No family?" Her fingers paused on the keyboard. "My parents died when I was young. Car accident. Lagos." That part was true. Just not Maya's truth. Hers. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "Don't be. And I learned early that the only person you can depend on is yourself." He set down his tablet, looked at her fully. "That's lonely. Lonely is safe." Something shifted in his expression. Understanding, maybe. Recognition. "You know what I find interesting about you, Dr. Lawrence?" "What?" "My sparkling personality? You never ask for help. Even when you're drowning. You just work harder. Dig deeper. Like asking for support would kill you." She met his gaze. "In my experience, Mr. Lee, people who offer help usually want something in return. And what do you think I want?" The question hung between them like a blade. "I think," she said carefully, "you want to know if you can trust me." "Can I?" She should have lied. Should have said yes immediately, emphatically, with Maya's practiced sincerity. Instead, she said, "I hope so?" He smiled. "At least you're honest about your uncertainty." If only he knew. But 3 weeks in, things shifted. Late afternoon. Keisha walked past the executive break room. Stopped. Sora Kim, a woman Hongdae had introduced as his personal assistant, stood inside with another woman, voices low but carrying. "I called the London School of Economics," Sora said. "They have no record of Dr. Maya Lawrence completing her doctorate there." Keisha's stomach dropped. "Maybe it's just an administrative error," the other woman suggested. "That's what I thought too. But I know something is off about that woman. I just can't place it." Sora says, placing her hands on her chin. A pause. "You've been digging pretty deep. Isn't that a bit outside your role as an assistant?" the other woman asked, hesitant at first. Sora's fingers tightened slightly around the cup in her hand, barely noticeable. "I don't like inconsistencies," she said, a little too quickly. "And Hongdae doesn't need distractions right now." The woman's brows lifted. "Distractions?" Sora's gaze flicked briefly toward the glass door, toward where Keisha stood, unseen. "New hires who attract unnecessary attention," she added lightly. "It reflects on him." A pause, then softer, almost to herself. "He trusts too easily." The other woman studied her. "You mean he trusts her too easily?" Sora didn't answer. She just took a slow sip of her coffee. Then she set the cup down. "I should get back," she said, already turning. "Hongdae will need me." Keisha moved, forced her feet forward, forced herself not to run. The weeks that followed moved too fast. Keisha worked closely with Hongdae, closer than she planned, closer than she should have allowed. What started as strategy slowly became something else, something she refused to name. Every invite outside work blurred the lines she had carefully drawn. And that conversation, the one she overheard from Sora, it never left her. She thought about quitting, walking away, disappearing before everything collapsed. But then she remembered why she started this. The money. What it could change. What it could fix. So she stayed. forced herself to focus, but Hongdae made that harder every single day. And that scared her. Because this wasn't her first con. She had played roles before, lied before, stolen before, and it had always been easy. So why did this feel different? If you were Keisha, would you walk away now? Or would you stay and risk everything? Drop your answer in the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This story only gets crazier from here. The night everything changed started normal. Hongdae invited her to his private sanctuary, a traditional Korean garden hidden on the company building's rooftop. Most people didn't know it existed. Stone pathways wound through carefully pruned trees. A small pond reflected the moon like molten silver. "My grandfather built this," Hongdae said, leading her to a wooden bench. He said that a man who only thinks about money loses his soul. This garden was his reminder to stay human. They sat in comfortable silence. Wind rustled leaves. Water trickled over stones. "Can I ask you something personal?" His voice was careful. "You can ask, but I might not answer." "The scar on your wrist. How did you get it?" She'd forgotten about the scar. A reminder of the night she and Marcus, her foster brother, tried to break into a pawn shop when she was 17. Razor wire, 73 stitches, no insurance. She pulled her sleeve down reflexively. "Kitchen accident. Long time ago." He reached over, gently pushed her sleeve back up. His fingers were warm against her skin. "That's not a kitchen scar, Maya. That's a survival scar." The way he said her fake name made her chest ache. "We've all survived things we don't talk about," she whispered. "True." He didn't let go of her wrist, just held it, like he was holding something precious. "But some of us survived alone, and some of us are tired of surviving." She looked at him then, really looked. Past the CEO persona, past the wealth and power. She saw loneliness that matched hers, a man raised to lead who'd never been allowed to be human. "Do you ever wonder what it would be like to stop pretending? To just be yourself with someone?" he asked. Her heart cracked. "Every single day." "Then stop pretending with me." He leaned closer, close enough that she could smell his cologne, cedar and rain. Close enough that she could feel his breath on her lips. She should have pulled away. Should have remembered that she was a lie wearing a dead woman's name. That every moment with him was built on theft and fraud. But God help her. She kissed him instead. It was soft, tentative, like they were both afraid the other might disappear. And when they finally pulled apart, his eyes were dark, intense. "I've wanted to do that since the boardroom," he admitted. "That's highly unprofessional, Mr. Lee." "Fire me." She laughed. Actually laughed. When was the last time she'd done that? Then, the garden door crashed open. Sora stood there, tablet in hand, face carved from ice. "I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have a situation." Hongdae stood immediately. "What situation?" "Our IT department flagged unusual access patterns in Dr. Lawrence's employee profile. Someone's been attempting to verify credentials through back channels. We need to discuss this immediately." Keisha's blood turned to ice water. "Can it wait until morning?" Hongdae asked. "No, sir," Sora said flatly, eyes locked on Keisha's. "It cannot." Keisha stood, smoothed her dress, became Maya again, even though Maya was crumbling. "Of course, I'll provide whatever documentation you need." "Sora, just make it tomorrow," Hongdae pressed. "It's late." A pause. "Fine," Sora said at last. "We'll start first thing tomorrow, 9 a.m., my office." She smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. Then she turned and walked out. The garden door closed with a sound like a cell locking. Hongdae turned to Keisha. "Sorry for that, it's probably just routine." Keisha nodded, but deep down she knew it wasn't. Keisha went home that night knowing her time was running out. Sora suspected something. Maybe everything. She had maybe 24 hours before the whole house of cards collapsed. She should be planning her next move. The escape. The payout. The clean exit. Instead, she couldn't stop thinking about the lab. The drug. And the patients she had seen during those late nights. Files she wasn't supposed to read. Test results she wasn't meant to understand. Thousands of lives, clinging to something that wasn't ready. The golden formula. The very thing she came here to steal and sell. That was the plan. But somewhere between the lies, the long nights, and the way Hongdae looked at her like she was real, something shifted. This wasn't just a job anymore, and for the first time in her life, stealing didn't feel like winning. It felt like killing people she'd never meet. And worse? The thought of never seeing Hongdae again, it broke something in her chest. Keisha frowned, almost annoyed at herself. She doesn't do feelings. She doesn't do conscience. Those things don't pay. So why now? She exhaled sharply, forcing it all down. This wasn't the time to feel. She needed to move ASAP. She just decided to abandon the plan and run. She grabbed her bag and started packing anyway. Passport, cash, burner phone, run first. Think later. That was how she stayed alive. She was halfway through emptying her closet when someone knocked. 3 sharp raps. Confident. Familiar. She opened the door. Marcus stood there grinning like the devil come to collect. "Hello, little sister," he said. "Miss me?" Marcus, her foster brother. The reason she had a criminal record. The person she took a theft charge for at 19 because he said family protects family. The person who disappeared the day she got out, leaving her with nothing but debt and a ruined name. "How did you find me?" He pushed past her into the apartment. Looked at her half-packed life. "Seoul's not that big, Keisha. And you're not as invisible as you think. What do you want? Can't a brother visit? We're not family. We never were." His smile dropped. Something dangerous flashed behind his eyes. "That's cold. After everything I did for you." "Everything you did? You set me up while you walked away clean." He shrugged. "Water under the bridge. I'm here about the future." "I have nothing for you." "Oh, I think you do." He pulled out his phone, showed photos. Her entering Pharmaceutical. Her and Hongdae at a restaurant. Her kissing him in the rooftop garden. Her legs went weak. "Where did you—" "I've been in Seoul 2 months, Marcus said. "Saw your face on Pharmaceutical's website. Senior consultant." I couldn't believe it. Keisha Brown, playing doctor. "How did you?" "I tracked you down about 8 weeks ago. Started applying for jobs at Pharmaceutical immediately. Security positions, low-level access at first." His grin widens. "You know who personally requested me for her team? Sora Kim, your boss's assistant. She needed someone with investigative experience to look into a certain Dr. Lawrence whose credentials weren't adding up." Keisha's blood runs cold. "I fed her just enough to keep her suspicious but not enough to get you caught. Not yet. I watched you fall for him. Watched you get comfortable. Watched you start believing your own lies." His smile turns cruel. "That's when people make mistakes. When they think they're safe." She couldn't breathe. "Here's what happens next," Marcus continued, voice casual. "The golden formula you came here for. You're going to get me the data. All of it. I hear it's worth 5 billion in patents. I can't. You will. Because if you don't, I tell your boyfriend everything. Who you really are. Why you're really here. How you stole his ring and phone and built a fake life from his trauma." "Marcus, please. Please." He laughed. "You had 3 years to say please. But you ran. You always run. Not this time. That drug is experimental. If you steal it, people will die. I know I came here to steal it too. But after months of working here, things are different now. Not my problem. His voice was cold, final. We are not the same, Keisha. You've always been too soft. He stepped closer, just enough to make her feel it. You have 3 days. There's a gala, 50th anniversary. Security will be light. He pulled something from his pocket and dropped it on her counter. On the small USB drive. Get the data, transfer it to this. Fail me, and I burn everything down. He left. Keisha collapsed and cried until her throat ached. The next 3 days were hell. She went to work, smiled at Hongdae, pretended everything was fine while Marcus's deadline ticked like a bomb. Sora watched constantly, no subtlety anymore. She'd appear in hallways, in the cafeteria, outside meeting rooms. Dr. Lawrence. Sora caught her outside Hongdae's office. I'm still waiting for those employment verification documents. I sent them yesterday morning. Must have been lost. I'll need them again. Original copies this time. Of course. Sora's smile was poison. Interesting thing. I called LSE some days back. They have no record of you. That's impossible. Keisha acted shocked. That's what I thought. So I called Lagos University. Same story. There must be administrative errors. Yes, there must be. I'll be waiting for the documents, Dr. Lawrence. She walked away, heels clicking like gunshots. That night, Hongdae took Keisha to dinner. Private room, expensive restaurant. He held her hand across the table. I want you to meet my father. What? Chairman Lee, he's been asking about you. Says you're the first person in 10 years who's told him the truth instead of what he wants to hear. Hongdae, I don't think. Why not? Because I'm a fraud. Because your head of security is about to expose me. Because my criminal brother is blackmailing me, she said in her head. I'm just a consultant. You're more than that. At least, I hope you are. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a small velvet box. Blue. This isn't what you think. It's my mother's necklace, jade. She wore it every day until she died. My father gave it to me last year, told me to give it to someone who reminds me why trust matters. He opened it. Simple jade pendant on gold chain, worth more than her entire fake life. I can't accept this. You can. You should. Maya, I've never met anyone who understands me the way you do, who sees past the company, the money. You see me. Tears spilled down her face. What's wrong? Did I overstep? No, you're perfect. That's the problem. I don't understand. I know you don't. I'm sorry. She stood, left the necklace, walked out and didn't stop until she reached Mapo Bridge, the same bridge where this started, where she saved his life and robbed him blind. She stood at the exact spot where his car went over. Rain started falling. Her phone buzzed. Message from Marcus. 2 days left. Another from Hongdae. Please tell me what I did wrong. She tried to transfer the files to Marcus's USB drive twice. Both times, her hands froze over the keyboard. It wasn't fear of getting caught. It was the faces she'd seen in clinical trial reports. Real people. Suffering people. People who needed this drug to work. Stealing the formula wouldn't just hurt Hongdae, it would kill them. She couldn't steal the formula, couldn't betray him like that. But she couldn't tell the truth either, unless there was a third option. She messaged Sora from a burner phone. Anonymous tip. Check Marcus Chen's background. Security consultant. Real name, Marcus Brown. Wanted for corporate espionage in 3 countries. Then she called Hongdae. Maya, are you okay? I need to tell you something. Not over the phone. At the gala, before the ceremony. Meet me in your office. What's going on? Please, just trust me one more time. Silence. Okay, I'll be there. If you were Keisha right now, what would you do? Tell him the truth and risk losing everything? Or keep the lie and save yourself? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm reading them. And if you're not subscribed yet, do so now because this is where everything changes. The 50th anniversary gala looked like a dream. Crystal chandeliers, ice sculptures, women in gowns worth more than cars, men in tuxedos sharp enough to cut. Keisha wore black. Simple, like she was attending a funeral. She was. Dr. Maya Lawrence's funeral. She found Hongdae by the window overlooking Seoul. The city sprawled below, infinite lights in infinite darkness. You look beautiful. I look like a liar. He frowned. Maya, why will you? That's not my name. The words fell like stones into water. What? My name is Keisha Brown. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I never went to London School of Economics. I never worked in pharmaceutical research. Dr. Maya Lawrence died 3 months ago after being in a coma for weeks, which was caused by a car accident. I stole her identity because I had nothing and you had everything. And I thought I deserved a piece of something good. Hanjae's face went pale. You're joking. I wish I were. The night of your accident, I was the one who pulled you out. Then I robbed you. I took your ring and phone. I used them to build this fake existence. I came here to steal the golden formula. I've been lying since the moment we met. He stepped back like she had physically hit him. Why are you telling me this now? Because my foster brother is about to steal your golden formula, and my conning you gave him access and information about it. Because Sora's been investigating me for weeks. Because I fell in love with you, and I need you to hear the truth from me before you hear lies from everyone else. The silence was deafening. You love me? Yes. God help me. Yes. And that's why I can't let Marcus destroy what you've built. That's one of the many reasons I couldn't go on with my plans. She pulled out her phone, showed him the texts, the photos, the blackmail. In exactly 3 minutes, Marcus will trigger the fire alarm. When he does, don't evacuate. Lock down the building. He'll be caught in the server room. Sora already knows who he is. Hongdae stared at her like she was a stranger. Who are you? I'm someone who made terrible choices for good reasons. Someone who saved your life and tried to steal from it. Someone who loved you enough to blow up her own lies before they could hurt you worse. Tears streamed down her face. I'm sorry, Han. I'm so sorry. He pulled out his phone, stared at the screen. I need to tell you something too. Go ahead. I knew you were the woman from the bridge by week 2, Hongdae explains. The CCTV footage was clear enough. My private investigator found it. Small hands, dark skin. You pulled me from the wreck. The world stops. What? He pulled up a video file. CCTV footage from Mapo Bridge. Her face, clear as day, pulling him from the wreckage. I hired investigator John Lee the day after the accident. He found this footage. A woman. Small hands, dark skin. She looked nothing like the polished Dr. Lawrence who walked into my boardroom. You knew? I knew you saved me. And I knew you took something that night. My ring and phone were missing. He pauses, studying her face. Then you walked into my boardroom. Brilliant. Confident. Everything the investigator said you weren't. He shakes his head. I couldn't understand why a successful pharmaceutical consultant with a PhD from LSE would steal from an accident victim. It didn't make sense. So you had Sora investigate me. I had her run a standard background check, the kind we do for all senior consultants. But Sora kept coming back with nothing substantial on your past, just basic medical history already on the internet. Hard to verify credentials. It raised questions, but He looks away. I wanted to believe you were real. When did you know I wasn't Maya Lawrence? Tonight. When you told me. His voice cracked slightly. I knew something was off. I knew you'd stolen from me. But I didn't know you'd stolen someone's entire life. I didn't know you came here to steal the formula. I thought maybe you were running from something. I thought maybe you just needed a second chance. His eyes meet hers, and the pain in them is unbearable. I was trying to give you one. Keisha's legs give out. She grabs the window ledge to stay upright. The room spins. You knew this whole time? Not everything, apparently. The dinners, the garden, the necklace. Her voice cracks. You were testing me? I was trying to understand you. By lying to me? The words rip out of her. You made me fall in love with you while you were running an investigation. And you made me fall in love with you while you were committing fraud. The silence that follows is deafening. We're both liars. The difference is, I lied to catch a thief. You lied to become someone you're not. No. Tears stream down her face. I lied to become someone who mattered. Someone who wasn't invisible. Someone people like you would actually see. His expression softens. I saw you. The real you. Even through the lies. Then why does this feel like you never did? Before he could respond, the fire alarm screamed. Chaos erupted. Guests rushed toward exits. Security shouted instructions. Hongdae spoke into his phone. Lock down the building. Nobody in or out. Check the server room immediately. Minutes later, Sora appeared with guards dragging Marcus between them. He fought like a trapped animal. Found him downloading the formula, Sora reported. USB drive is encrypted. She looked at Keisha. I assume you knew about this, Miss Brown? Keisha said nothing. Silence stretched. Then Hongdae finally looked at her. The disappointment in his eyes worse than hatred. Get them both out of my sight, Hongdae said quietly. Call the authorities on Marcus. A beat. Take Maya. His voice tightened, just slightly. Or rather, Keisha, to my car. Sora blinked, caught off guard. I'm sorry, what? Your car? Hongdae didn't look at her. Yes, to my car. Another pause. Sir, she's a criminal. Sora pressed carefully. You can't be... You heard me correctly, Sora, he said, voice low, final. Take her to my car. And just like that, we're back where the story started. The SUV, the rain, the handcuffs, the photographs of her lies spread across glass. Marcus tried to bribe his coworkers for access codes. They reported to Sora immediately, Hongdae says. Then why let me keep working? Keisha asks. Like I told you, I wanted to see what you'd choose. I chose you. You chose to confess before you got caught? That's not the same. He's right. What happens now? Sora smiles. Now we press charges. Corporate espionage, identity theft, fraud, theft of a $2 million family heirloom. You're looking at 10 years minimum and... Actually, Hongdae interrupts, we're not pressing charges. Sora's smile drops. Sir? Remove the handcuffs. Mr. Lee, I strongly advise. Remove them. Now. Sora reluctantly unlocks her. Keisha rubs feeling back into raw wrists. You're free to go, Hongdae says. There's a bus ticket to Incheon Airport in that envelope. Emergency travel documents issued by the U.S. Embassy. I made some calls. $5,000 cash. Enough to get home and start over. I don't understand. You saved my life, Keisha Brown. I'm repaying the debt. After tonight, we're even. If I ever see you in Seoul again, I will have you arrested and you will end up like your brother. Do you understand? She nods, throat tight. The SUV stops outside Seoul Station. Rain still falls. She takes the envelope, opens the door. Keisha. She turns. Did you mean it? When you said you loved me? Every word. Then I hope you find a way to love yourself enough to stop running. Sora's jaw tightens. Just for a second. Her fingers curl slightly against her palm, then relax. Like she's forcing herself back into control. The door closes. The SUV drives away. Keisha stands in rain watching taillights disappear. holding an envelope full of mercy she doesn't deserve. Marcus's fate is different. Your brother will be extradited to China, Sora had said coldly before Keisha was released. They want him for industrial espionage. He stole semiconductor designs 2 years ago. He won't see freedom for 20 years. Keisha felt nothing. Marcus made his choices, just like she made hers. 3 years later. Atlanta humidity wraps around Keisha like a blanket as she unlocks her studio door. Keisha Brown Textiles, the sign says. Her name, her work, her life. She designs fabric, African prints with Korean influences, specific, niche, hers. Business is slow but honest. She pays taxes, sleeps at night. She is no longer a ghost, a thief, or a con artist. But some nights, she still remembers Hongdae, his voice, the kiss, the way he looked at her, like she was real until she wasn't. She sees him sometimes on the news, in articles, expanding his empire, speaking at global conferences, always composed, always distant, always without her. She never lingers too long. But the ache? It doesn't ask for permission. She sits at her sewing machine, looking at her first major order. A Korean cultural center wants 500 yards of her Afro-Korean fusion fabric. Her hands hover over the machine. Then she sees it. Her reflection in the studio window. Not Maya Lawrence, not the polished consultant, just Keisha. And for the first time, that's enough. The phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Hello? Miss Brown, this is Jennifer Park from Lee Pharmaceutical's American division. We have a client interested in commissioning custom textile designs. Are you available for a meeting tomorrow? Her heart stutters. Who's the client? He prefers to introduce himself in person. 2 p.m. Ritz-Carlton downtown. He's particularly interested in your Afro-Korean fusion pieces. She should say no, should recognize a setup. I'll be there. The Ritz-Carlton lobby is exactly as intimidating as she remembers. She arrives 15 minutes early, best dress, portfolio like armor. A hostess leads her to a private conference room. She opens the door. Hongdae sits at the table. Same but different. Still handsome, still powerful. But something softer in his eyes now. Hello, Keisha. She can't move, can't breathe. Please, sit. She sits because her legs won't hold her. Your work is impressive. I've been following your company for 6 months. You have real talent. Why are you here? Did you come to arrest me? The golden formula, he cut in. It was approved last year, helping thousands of people manage chronic pain without addiction. You know who fixed the final metabolic pathway error? You did. 3 years ago. Your notes saved the project. I don't understand. Someone stole the formula 2 weeks ago. Industrial espionage. If it hits the black market before we recover it, people will die. I need the best person I can find. Someone who thinks like a thief because she used to be one. Someone who understands desperate choices. Someone I can trust because she already betrayed me once, and I survived it. He slides a folder across the table. She opens it with shaking hands. Business proposal, consultant contract, 6-month term, salary that makes her eyes water. And underneath, a work visa, legitimate, legal, her real name, Keisha Brown. What is this? An offer. Come work for me. Help me find the formula. When it's done, you can walk away. Keep the visa. Build a real life. Or what? He meets her eyes. She sees it. The same loneliness from 3 years ago. The same hope. Or we figure out what comes next. Together. As equals this time. No lies. No games. Just 2 people who survived the worst of each other and are willing to try for the best. He stands, walks around the table, stands before her. I'm not asking you to be Maya Lawrence. I'm asking you to be Keisha Brown, the woman who pulled me from a wreck, The woman who lied because she was scared. The woman who told the truth because she was brave. Can you be her? She looks at the visa with her real name. She looks at his face. At the future sitting between them like a second chance she doesn't deserve. I don't know if I can. Then let's find out together. He offers his hand. She takes it. Here's what matters about this story. People aren't just good or bad. We're all surviving. Making choices that hurt ourselves and others because we're scared or desperate or tired. Keisha stole from Hongdae, yes. But she also saved him. Twice. Once from the car. Once from Marcus. And maybe he's saving her now by giving her a chance to be someone real. Or maybe this is the most elaborate revenge of all. The formula is still out there. Someone dangerous has it. And she's about to walk back into the world she tried to escape. Is this redemption or revenge? Did Hongdae forgive her? Or does he need her for one job before he's done? What would you do if you were Keisha? Drop your answers in the comment section. If this story pulled you in, imagine what's coming next. Subscribe before you go and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. See you soon.